much more than a champion. He was much more than the greatest stock car driver that ever lived. He was much more than a fan favorite on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit. He was Dale Earnhardt. Taken from our midst far too soon, in only 49 years, he left an indelible mark on people's lives. On the racetrack, he was feared by some, but respected by all. Off the track, millions worshipped him, proudly displaying his colors. Others did not root for the man they called Intimidator, yet even they could not ignore him. 7 times he raised the Winston Cup in celebration. A champion in the truest sense of the word. He was a people's champion.
If you listen closely, you can almost hear the echoes of racing engines. The corner of Coach and Sedan, Kannapolis, North Carolina, the boyhood home of Dale Earnhardt. Nearly 50 years ago, this is where it all began. And today, on this grief-stricken day, this is where TNN Sports begins its look and a retrospective on the people's champion, Dale Earnhardt. Hello, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to Kannapolis, North Carolina. And welcome to a show that, certainly in my worst nightmares, I never dreamed we'd ever have to host. Today, we look back at the life of Dale Earnhardt, what he meant to you, to me, to his family, to countless millions of race fans across the country, in huge towns and little cities like Kannapolis. We'll be hearing from drivers, competitors, friends, and family. We'll be looking back and learning about Dale Earnhardt in his own words as we look back into our videotaped archives. We'll find out what made Dale Earnhardt a special human being, not only the people's champion. So we hope you can spend this next hour with us as we pay tribute to a great man, and yes, a great racer, Dale Earnhardt. We begin here in Kannapolis with a look at exactly what Dale Earnhardt was all about. The Dale Earnhardt that most people knew was Dale Earnhardt, the champion race driver. Tough, unyielding, on the edge of reckless, but enough in control to get that car to victory lane. To a man, he had the fear, respect, and attention of every one of his fellow competitors. But that's very different from Dale Earnhardt, the man, known as a caring friend and devoted family man. Dale Earnhardt was born in April of 1951, just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, in the small town of Kannapolis. His father, Ralph, was a stock car racer who made his living on the hard-scrabble dirt tracks of the South. In an era of tough customers, Dale's dad stood out as one of the toughest and most successful, winning the NASCAR Late Model Sportsman Division Championship in 1956. Dale wanted to take up the family business, but faced many roadblocks. He quit school early to follow his racing dream. Money was tight. His personal life was in turmoil. 2 marriages and 2 divorces before his 25th birthday, plus the death of his father at an early age. Ralph Earnhardt died suddenly, just as Dale's racing career was beginning to take shape. To Earnhardt's credit, he overcame these obstacles, maturing behind the wheel and off the track. Dale had 4 children, and in time, he became a devoted father to Kerry, Kelly, Dale Jr., and Taylor Nicole. The last 2 decades or so of his life, Earnhardt and wife Teresa were nearly inseparable. Earnhardt's 3 oldest children all tried their hand at racing. Dale Jr. has quickly risen to NASCAR stardom. Oldest son, Kerry, gave Dale one of his proudest moments ever last June at Pocono, driving an Earnhardt-owned black Chevrolet to victory lane, his first career win in ARCA competition. And oldest daughter, Kelly, also drove race cars for a few years in both Legends competition and on the late model stock car circuit. It's quite possible that Earnhardt was not most comfortable on the racetrack, but rather outdoors. He was an avid sportsman. He relished his time boating, fishing, and hunting, and he was every bit as intimidating at the wheel of a farm tractor as he was in his number 3 Chevrolet. From his poor beginnings, Earnhardt became a successful businessman. Not only was he a success on the track with some $40 million in prize money, but sales of his merchandise were said to be in the 8-figure range annually. His race team, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, has had all 3 of its drivers win within the last year. And of course, people came from miles away to buy a car from Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. All that aside, Dale Earnhardt, the man, might best be remembered by the way he treated people. Michael Waltrip said it best last week.
Yesterday was our day, and in Victory Lane, I just couldn't wait. I won the race, and I was telling everybody about it, and I just couldn't wait until I got that big grab on the neck and a big hug. I just knew any minute Dale was going to run in Victory Lane and say, "That's what I'm talking about right there." But that wasn't to be. My belief is that in the twinkle of an eye, you're in the presence of the Lord. And that's where I think Dale is.
White flag will come out this time. One more lap to go.
Here's the front 4. This is where it's going to be decided. Down for the checkers. One more shot. Short. Earnhardt does it for the 6th time. Wins the Busch Clash.
You know, when you want to try and figure out exactly why it was that Dale Earnhardt connected so well with all the racing fans, just take a look at what's gone on here at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated in Mooresville, North Carolina. The makeshift tributes and dedications to Dale Earnhardt have just sprung up from race fans who've made their way here from all across the country. Thousands of fans have come to this site each day to pay their respects. In many regards, it's reminiscent of the reaction of the people in London, England, when Princess Diana passed away some 3 years ago. This reaction is in large part due to the fact that Dale Earnhardt was the kind of guy and kind of racer that people could relate to. Why? Well, because Dale Earnhardt was a regular guy. He liked to fish and hunt and work on his farm and spend time with his family, just like you and I.
The time I'm having a good time and enjoying myself when I'm on that racetrack racing.
Dale Earnhardt was a different kind of racing driver.
He'd fit right in with my group, or he'd have fit in with Junior and Curtis Turner group. In other words, he could have been there the very first race and have made it.
190 miles an hour, and here comes Earnhardt. The Intimidator is scraped and beat on the right side, but he will not be denied. Wow. And Earnhardt is going for the lead. And listen to this crowd of 170,000 strong. Dale Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps to lead it on the final lap. Dale Earnhardt comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega.
I'm tickled to death. I'm pretty tired, but I'm tickled to death.
The green flag comes out, and the flood at the Glen is underway. BP, who's it going to be in one?
It's Dale Earnhardt, that is.
He come to the front a couple of times and passed off a lot of race cars. I'm pretty proud of him. Pretty happy about it. To come out here and finally win this race is so, man, you wouldn't believe the feeling. You wouldn't believe the excitement that's inside you. We've won 7 championships. This tops it all.
They come toward the line. Who will it be? It is going to be
Dale Earnhardt has won the second Brickyard 400.
I got to do my hair like yours, ain't it? That's crazy. Pretty exciting to be involved in the sport and be a winner in the many divisions and many facets of racing.
When we come back, we'll hear from some of the men that Dale dueled with and usually beat on the racetracks of America. We'll be right back.
And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt.
Yes, sir. There was some knuckle busting in that one.
Well, that was something else. You know, Bill spun that 95 car out and caused a big mess, and then he come up there and tried to spin me out twice. I didn't take it. I slipped him up high just to let him know I was mad. No, I think he's a little upset.
The legendary pass in the grass that yielded for Dale Earnhardt another trip to this hallowed spot, Victory Lane, here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. You know, it's been said over the years that there's no more feared sight than a driver looking in his rearview mirror and seeing that black number 3 closing in from the rear flank. But it's also safe to say that over the course of NASCAR's history, there is no driver that many would also have rather seen behind them than Dale Earnhardt. Feared, yes. An intimidator, yes. But a man you could also trust to race with on the racetrack. And as everybody was saddened by the passing of Dale Earnhardt last week in the Daytona 500, those same competitors were very quick to speak out in the aftermath of Dale's passing as to what he meant to the sport, and more importantly, what it meant to them to race against Dale Earnhardt.
You race all day, and you get down there to the last lap, and you get your front end in there, and the guy tries to cut you off, or he tries to do what he can to keep back there. You stand your ground. And a lot of times it comes out bad, but a lot of times you win races too.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500.
Of all the people that I've ever met, I've never met anybody that had the drive and the will to win that Dale Earnhardt had.
When Earnhardt spoke, you listened. You respected him so much. It didn't matter what happened on that racetrack. When the day was over with, you still respected Earnhardt.
gave me the opportunity in 95 to do what I wanted to do for a living and do what I dreamed about doing for a living. First of all, was racing, and second of all, driving for my hero, my childhood hero.
No matter what, you knew that guy was going to drive that car deeper into the corner, harder, and if he bumped you and sent you a little bit sideways, it was just part of it. That's what Dale is.
Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. The most anticipated moment in racing. If John Elway can win the Super Bowl, Dale Earnhardt said he could win the Daytona 500. Look out on pit roll. Every man on every crew has come out to the edge of pit lane to congratulate him.
What a day at Daytona. Everybody, Earnhardt fan or not, had to be pleased for the man in black and that win in the Daytona 500. Of course, here today at Charlotte, the seats are empty, but whenever Dale Earnhardt was around, the seats were never empty. They were filled to capacity with the fans out to see the man who had won 7 NASCAR Winston Cup championships, who had won 76 races in his career, and had earned nearly $40 million on the toughest racing circuit in the world. And what a driving style. Hunkered down in that race car, hassling drivers, young and old alike. It mattered not to Dale. He was going to get to the front any way he could. That was what Dale Earnhardt was all about. tribute to Dale Earnhardt continues, father and son, in their own words. We'll be right back.
Dale Earnhardt in command of the Brickyard 400 as he enters turn number 3. Dale Earnhardt has won the second Brickyard 400.
I'm glad I'm the second man that won, and if not the first. We really appreciate it. And NASCAR, I guarantee NASCAR is happy to be here.
You're the greatest race car driver in the world. What can you say?
Well, we've never won the Daytona 500, but the Brickyard's a special race. I think it's the next to it, so we'll take it.
That, of course, was Dale's win in the 1995 Brickyard 400. We're here now in the little Carolina mill town of Kannapolis, North Carolina, Dale's hometown. He grew up here, living, of course, with his mom, Martha, his dad, Ralph, and like so many of us, he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, and follow he did, becoming a hugely successful race car driving champion. But you know something? Regardless of how big he got, how many millions of dollars he might have earned, how much worldwide acclaim he had, this was always the place he called home. For Dale Earnhardt, Kannapolis was kind of like his old little private sanctuary.
Racing was a part of me, and I was born and bred into it.
You could tell he was somebody to be reckoned with, I can tell you that right now. When he was out there, he represented the guy from the small town.
Tried to spin me out twice. I didn't take it.
If there was ever a chip off the old block, Dale Earnhardt is it. He drives exactly the way that his dad did.
It's given to you. You don't earn it. Nothing was given to Dale Earnhardt.
He's been a hometown boy from Kannapolis, North Carolina.
He loved hunting, he loved fishing. He liked simple things. Today, you're going to have to rate him as number one. He's the best, I think, that ever came down the pipe.
his 7th Winston Cup championship. He won the battle today and the war.
It's unbelievable that we won 7, Glenn. I mean, it's just, it's amazing that we could do it. I thought nobody'd ever tie Richard Petty or catch Richard Petty's record as championships, but, you know, he's still the king. We're 7-time champion now. I got to dedicate this to Neil Bonnet.
Another championship in the great career of Dale Earnhardt. You know, I'm a father myself. I dare say so many of you watching this show right now are parents yourselves, and we all know that the relationship between parent and children is something so very, very special. Dale Earnhardt was a very loving father and a loving husband. But I can't help but remember how proud he was when Dale Earnhardt Jr. began his racing career. Earnhardt Sr. had done it all, but Jr. jumps in, wins 2 NASCAR Busch Series championships. Then he moves to the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, wins 2 points races, plus the NASCAR All-Star race, the Winston. He won it right here at this finish line at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It was shortly after Earnhardt Jr.'s win here at Charlotte that my broadcasting partner, Buddy Baker, had a unique opportunity to sit down with both Earnhardts. They talked about Dale's career, Jr.'s career. They talked about Dale Earnhardt Incorporated and the future of those racing teams. And they shared with Buddy some comments that now, with Dale's passing, seem particularly poignant.
For him to win his first Winston Cup race in his first season was something that I had done, and I was so excited when he did. And of course, he went out and has ran some great races and been competitive. And I knew it was just a matter of time till he won, but to be a part of it, to be there with him and see it happen, and even if I wasn't driving the race car, just to be there and be a part of it was pretty special in my heart, because my dad was there when I won races when I started out, and I know the feeling I had with my dad, and I was just so proud of him. I got in there and congratulated him and got out of the way and let him have it. Let them enjoy it.
It's pretty cool for me because I can't echo the same thoughts he has because I'm the son in the deal. But it's neat for me because I raced for so many years without being able to enjoy something like that till now. And I'm sure it makes him real proud, but it's a good feeling for me to be able to do it in front of him, where I did it before in the late model series or the Busch series, and a lot of the times he wasn't there to see it. So it's a good time for me.
What's it like to race against your son?
The proud papa comes out in me to see him be able to take a race car and do the things that I had done and my daddy did and a lot of great racers have done. And to worry about him when he was starting out, if he could, accomplish Winston Cup racing and be a winner was a big worry, a big concern. The pressures of the business is a big concern. And to see him be able to handle it and see him go out and be a winner, very proud of him. I have a comfortable feeling when I see him race more than a scared feeling, because I know his capabilities and I know he's learning, he's doing the right things, he's paying attention. He's doing a good job.
What were your expectations coming into your rookie Winston Cup season?
I really didn't know what to think. I didn't set any goals. I didn't try to count any blessings. I just had to wait till we got to the racetracks and see how the car drove before I made any estimated guesses on how we was going to do. The one thing that we still haven't done yet is establish consistency, and that's something that we're going to need down the road to be competitive in the points battles. And that's what I want to do, and I think we're capable of doing that. I'm not really a numbers guy to where I can say this many top 5s or this many top 10s. I just want to be satisfied with my finishes.
As a team owner of Steve Park's car and Dale Jr., where are they right now as far as you're concerned? Are they where you want them to be?
Well, Dale Jr.'s definitely pushed the mark up for Steve and the Pennzoil team. But we try to give the resources and the input and all that stuff into both teams as solid as we can. I feel like Steve Park's a winner and could win any race and should. It's just a matter of circumstances and time. They should be winners too, and it make me more proud to have two winning cars out there, two winning teams out there.
With all the success that Junior's had on the racetrack, has it made y'all closer as father and son?
I don't know that we're any closer as far as he's my son and I love him. And I think the things we're doing are so much more comparable, like the racing has brought us closer as far as the outside world sees. You know, I've just always been proud of my kids, Kelly and Kerry and Dale Jr., and they just, you know, they've been good kids. They've never been a big problem. They've been in the mischief and done things that all of us have done, and some things I found out lately that he's been sort of filling me in on. But still, I'm really proud of my kids. They've done a good job growing up, and I'm not saying I'm the reason why. I'm just saying I'm proud of them and proud that they have figured things out for themselves. And that's one thing I've tried to give them advice and help them with their lives all you can. But again, he and Kelly and Kerry really have took their lives in hand and become a man and a woman and took care of themselves and done the right thing.
More to come on Dale Earnhardt, the People's Champion, a look at Dale's final win, and much more when our tribute continues.
Contacted somebody there. He was on the inside of Rick Bickler and going to the grass. Always Earnhardt, if you're going to pass him on the inside, it's going to be on the grass, Dad. He's down on the very bottom of the racetrack.
Intimidator is scraped and beat to the right side, but he will not be denied. Earnhardt has gone for the lead. Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps, his 10th career victory.
Now that was vintage Dale Earnhardt right there, coming from deep in the field, 4 laps to go to win at Talladega. Who knew it would be his final NASCAR Winston Cup win? Earlier in the show, you might have seen the Buddy Baker interview that he conducted last year with Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. One of the subjects was the future of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. And as you heard, things didn't begin all that smoothly. But now the fortunes were really looking up. Michael Waltrip leading Dale Jr. to the stripe at the 500. And just a few short months ago, Steve Park also picking up a win. So in the span of 9 months, all of the drivers at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated finding their way to victory lane. The same with Kerry Earnhardt, another of the Earnhardt sons, a winner at Pocono, and looking towards a possible championship in the ARCA Series here in the 2001 season. Oh yes, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated is going to continue. It will continue to flourish because that's what champions are all about. They leave a legacy behind. Others pick up the pieces, and they strive for their own championships.
Yeah, he was an intimidator on the racetrack, and he loved to win races. But just like I feel like the race showed, his heart come out there at the last couple of laps, and he wanted to see Junior and Mike Waltrip win that race.
You know, he didn't have to get that 8th championship because he's going through the Golden Gates now.
so comfortable in his own shoes. He was bigger than life.
Inside of Earnhardt, he taps him, going into the third corner. He gets way down on the apron of the track, coming to the white flag. There's a leader change, and Labonte takes the lead. Oh, and Earnhardt spins him out. Earnhardt takes the checkered flag.
Talk about this one for a long time. Earnhardt is in victory lane.
Dale Earnhardt had a lot of friends, many of them out of the world of racing. Some of the biggest stars in music considered Dale Earnhardt a friend. Remember when Brooks and Dunn called on the Intimidator a few years ago to be part of this video? Dale just loved that cameo.
I ain't thinking, I ain't drinking, I ain't crying, I ain't moaning the blues. I wouldn't lie to you. Now that's a honky-tonk truth. That's a honky-tonk truth.
We'll be right back with some final thoughts as our Dale Earnhardt tribute continues on TNN. Advantage at the line. So now, after 60 minutes, our show has come full circle. Back to the corner of Coach and Sedan. Back to Dale Earnhardt's boyhood home, where his chase of dreams and championships began 50 years ago. We all have our own special memories of Dale Earnhardt. And though he was laid to rest, those memories never will be laid to rest, nor should they be, as we all carry with us something very special, a part of a people's champion. He'll be with us in our minds and hearts forever. For all of us at TNN Sports, I'm Eli Gold.